Hi, everybody. My name is Paul Gerard. I'm a student loan consultant, and I'm very pleased to be working with the American Dental Education Association, ADEA, to provide you with some information designed to help you do a better job of managing your student loans. This short module is on some simple steps to help you as a dental hygiene graduate determine the most effective repayment strategy for your student loans. As we go through this module, some reminders. First of all, there is never a penalty for early repayment on any federal loan program. And in general, you can switch repayment plans. Also, very important, if you adopt an aggressive repayment strategy at some point, any voluntary payments, for example, payments made during a grace period, or additional payments, payments made over and above the minimum payment requirement of any repayment plan you're in general, those can be targeted on your most expensive loans. So we would encourage you to work very carefully with your loan servicer on all repayment matters, especially if you start making aggressive payments on your loans. There's no penalty for that whatsoever. Now, there are three very simple steps to determining a repayment strategy as you graduate from your dental hygiene program. First of all, be sure you know what you borrowed, what kind of loans do you have, and who is servicing them. These are organizations such as Fed Loan Servicing, Great Lakes, Navient, and Nelnet. There are some others, but those are the main four for direct loans. And also know when your loans come due. That's usually 6 months after you graduate. Number two, identify and constantly review your repayment objectives. And then once you know what's in your portfolio, who's got your loans and when they're coming due, and you have a pretty good idea about how you want to go about repayment, simply then step number three, choose a repayment plan to help you meet your repayment objectives. So three very simple steps to determining an effective repayment strategy. Now, step number one, determining what's in your student loan portfolio. Your federal loans, such as the federal subsidized and federal unsubsidized direct loan, and also direct plus loans, those can be found at nslds.ed.gov. You'll also find there information on loan servicers. So if you're not sure who your loan servicer is, you'll find that information on the NSLDS site. Now, we think you will find that the majority of your loans, in fact, in all likelihood, all of your federally owned loans are going to be serviced by one loan servicer. So you may have multiple loans as you finish up your dental hygiene program, but all of your direct loans, all of your federally owned loans should be with one loan servicer, and that negates one reason to consolidate. You may have some campus-based loans. These are loans that come directly from your school. If that's the case, there'll be a different loan servicer than you have on your federal direct loans, and work very carefully with the financial aid office at your school to determine the terms and conditions of your campus-based loans and also the loan servicer. If you have some loans, you think you have some loans that are not on the NSLDS site, check your credit report or with the financial aid office at the school you attended to see if you have any loans such as private loans while you were in school. Those are not listed on the National Student Loan Data System site. So step number one, determine your loan portfolio. Now here's an example of a sample loan portfolio for a dental hygiene graduate. There are a number of different dental hygiene programs, as you know, and so we're listing a number of the different types of loans you may have as a dental hygiene graduate. Some of you may have direct subsidized loans. Now that is for undergraduates only. Some of you may also have the direct unsubsidized loan. Those loans have a 6-month grace period and also a fixed rate on those loans. If you happen to have any direct plus loans, they don't have a grace period, but they have something that works in the same way. It's a 6-month post-enrollment deferment, meaning it also comes due about 6 months after you graduate. And direct plus loans also have a fixed rate. So once again, if your portfolio is mainly direct subsidized and direct unsubsidized loans and direct plus, these loans should be coming due about 6 months after you graduate. If you have any campus-based loans, and an example is the Federal Perkins loan, check with your financial aid office on the terms and conditions of that loan or any other campus-based loans you may have. And same thing on any private loans you may have. The terms and conditions vary by lender. Check with the financial aid office or check with the lender or your disclosure statement for terms and conditions of your private loans. Now, once you know what you borrowed, who's got the loans, and when they're coming due, the second step is to determine your repayment objectives. And there's no right or wrong answer to what are your repayment objectives, and these are likely to change. Some of you may want to be aggressive and overpay as fast as you can on your student loans to help reduce the impact of interest accrual and capitalization. That's where the interest that builds up is added back to the principal, causing your balance to go up. Others of you may need to be cautious, especially when you first graduate and enter repayment as you get settled in your career. And if that's the case, you may need to protect your income and maximize your monthly cash flow and get lower monthly payments on your student loans. Some of you may be interested in loan forgiveness, and some of you may be interested in seeing if there are any programs available for you as a dental hygiene graduate that will provide you with financial assistance on your student loans in exchange for service. So once you know, again, what you borrowed, what kind of loans do you have, who are you working with in repayment, and when they're coming due, and you've done step number 2, you've looked at your repayment objectives. Step number 3 is simply to pick a repayment plan to help you meet those repayment objectives. And this is a listing of the repayment options on federal student loans, such as direct subsidized and unsubsidized and direct plus loans. There's a standard 10-year plan, 120 level payments. This is the most aggressive plan possible on federal loans. There's a graduated version of the 10-year plan where the payments start lower and they increase in designated amounts at designated intervals, usually every 24 months. This plan is really designed for borrowers who could otherwise afford a standard 10-year plan, but who have some other financial commitments to get rid of early on in the repayment term. There's also a 25-year plan where the payments are stretched over 300 months, 300 level payments. Don't forget that there's never a penalty for early repayment. So some borrowers will get into an extended 25-year plan to get the comfort of a lower payment, and then they'll aggressively repay on the loan, no penalty for doing so, and by doing so, they shorten the 25-year repayment term. By the way, the first 3 plans, the calculation of the payments under these plans has absolutely nothing to do with income, family size, marital status, and how you file your taxes. But this next category of repayment plans is called income-driven repayment plans. And these are plans where the payments are tied on an annual basis to your income and your family size. And a reminder, we have a separate repayment module on income-driven repayment plans. So in summary, remember that you can't really figure out a repayment strategy until you know what you borrowed, who's got your loans, who you're working with in repayment, and when your loans are coming due. And once you know that, we would encourage you to take a look at your own repayment objectives and evaluate them every single year, and switch repayment plans as needed. Work very carefully with your loan servicer in that regard. And always remember, there's never a penalty for overpayment with any federal repayment plan. We'd encourage you to take a look at the AAMC ADIA Dental Loan Organizer and Calculator. That calculator can be found at amc.org/GoDental, and we'd encourage you as a dental hygiene student to take a look at that calculator. It can give you some great information in terms of repayment estimates and also forgiveness estimates under the different repayment options. We hope this information has been helpful to you as you craft together a repayment strategy as you finish up your dental hygiene program, and we wish you nothing but the best with your dental hygiene career.